Hey everybody, it is Dak here from the Ed Boys, and today we're going to be checking out the OSRS HD plugin. OSRS HD is now available only on Runelite. If you're not already on Runelite, it can be downloaded from runelite.net. That is runelite.net. I have linked to the correct site in the description. When using Runelite, the HD plugin is not going to be one of the default plugins. To get that HD plugin, you need to click on your settings wrench to open up your plugins, then click on the plugin hub at the bottom. Just typing in HD in the plugin hub is going to give you what you're looking for, which is the 117 HD beta. It'll only take like a second to download, and then it can be found in your Runelite plugins after that. We did not receive this OSRS HD plugin without its fair share of controversy, of course. So a couple of years ago, 117, the developer of the HD plugin, announced that they would be working on this plugin, and down the road we would be given OSRS HD. This was met with pretty much no response from Jagex, from what I can gather for the most part. I'm really not trying to dig super deep into the drama for this video. I'm just trying to sum up what happened here. 117 made this plugin over a couple of years. It was supposed to be released on September 6, 2021, but the day of the release, Jagex decided they just were going to say, no, we don't allow this. The plugin's banned. 117, they apparently put in like 2,000 plus hours into making the plugin, which is kind of obvious when you look at it. This shit is beautiful. This upset a lot of people in the community, including myself, for a good reason. Let's be honest, not only is the plugin awesome, but the developer put so many hours in before they shut it down. All around, it was just unbelievably poor timing and just not the call from Jagex. But they did realize that when everybody got pissed. So a day after banning the plugin, they made a statement saying that they would work with 117 to get the plugin released. Jagex wants to do their own HD thing on the Steam client in the long run. In general, that's really what the Steam client is Jagex trying to keep up with Runelite at this point, and that includes the HD plugins. So that's where the problem stems from, and it does keep going a little bit deeper than that, but after a couple of days with talking with 117, they announced that they could release the plugin, and here we are, we have OSRS HD. This is not the first time that RuneScape got an HD update without a little bit of drama attached. I remember back in 2008, they made RuneScape HD for the first time. I was only like a year or so into the game at that point. 2007 Scape was like right when I started RuneScape, is basically where the old school RuneScape server started, so kind of convenient for me. But I had a newbie account overall. I was just a kid, so I didn't know too much about the game, but I was super pumped for the HD update. I'm like, yo, they're gonna update the graphics, it's gonna be really sick. And then when it came out, it was so unbelievably laggy. I shouldn't quite say unbelievably. I guess at that point as a kid, I didn't realize so many updates would come out being like almost ready. This was one where, oh, it was absurd, dude. I just remember me and my friend, we logged in. I was specifically in the dungeon near Keldegrim fighting those trolls. Dude, it took like 5 minutes just for the screen to update if you tried to walk places. It was so bad. The servers could not handle HD at all. It was ridiculous. Eventually, I think only maybe a week or two down the road, but I don't quite recall, they fixed it. It ended up working. HD, like, we went through the same type of process we went here. It looked like HD was going to be, I guess, a no-go, and then suddenly we did get HDs. So I guess we should all be happy that we do have HD. A huge shout out to the developer 117 that put in all the time to make the plugin, along with the community that stood behind them and making sure that the plugin got released for all of us. The claim was that it took like 2,000 hours to make this plugin, and I can see why, honestly. They put in so much effort, even on the little details in the lighting and whatnot, around the entire game. You know how big the map is? Honestly, like dungeons included, all the items in general, like the looks of things, it had to take a long time, and I can see that they put in a ton of effort on this. I've only been using it for a day now, but I am insanely impressed with it. You did a great job on the plugin, 117. Okay, we're gonna check out a couple of places here in the video. You can go around the whole map on RuneScape and be almost mind blown with how good a lot of these things look. And the first place that I had logged into was Zaya Runecrafting here, because I was doing it on my hardcore Iron Man. This is also the place that's gotten like the biggest raves so far from even the other clan members that I was talking to about it. Just look at the lighting on these crystals walking by, how they actually glow. Isn't this beautiful? The fog in general, like the atmosphere around me, I feel like is a lot more, I don't know, it gives more of a in-depth feeling to it. I don't know how else to explain it. Look at the blood altar. This is amazing. For one, the lighting around you changes depending on the area, so like we have a much more red vibe than a purple vibe that we had before. Again, the crystal's actually glowing. It's not like a huge deal, but I don't know, everything looks smoother. They didn't remove the old school vibe at all. It's just all real clean and real smooth just in general. I really like it. And check this out, as you run away from the altar, so just watch like the transition in lighting, I guess in the background and whatnot. So we're around all these red crystals, this red aura, and as we start to leave the altar, Yeah, it just slowly fades into the nice purple. It's super simple. It's not like they really overhauled stuff, but it really is nice. Just look at the water. Look how nice this water looks. For one, the reflection of the sun moving around as you move the camera. Small detail, very nice. You can even see the shadow of the bird in the water as it flies off. There's actually 2 shadows on that bird now that I notice it. Ruined the whole plugin for me. No problem. It's still, this looks beautiful. This reminds me of like the first time I saw somebody playing Minecraft with shaders and the water just looks so much more legit. It's very nice. The Gauntlet life. Corrupted Gauntlet's got that same vibe that the Blood Altar had. The same coloring really. It's just the color scheme that does it, but it's kind of ominous in here, which it should be. This has always been, in my opinion, the Gauntlet's one of the best pieces of content they added to the game. I really love the artwork in it already, but I like the HD vibe too. Hun left looking fresh. I'm looking like I'm about to get KO'd in this fight. I didn't actually plan on winning this fight. I just wanted to come check out how the Hun left looks. This is where I will be hanging out on stream in general until hopefully I get some good drops. I've seen a couple of glitches as you run around in the Gauntlet, like the lighting kind of messes up for just a split second, like a frame's worth. It's really not that big of a deal, but it happens occasionally. Overall, though, this really does just look fantastic. Old school RuneScape HD may not be for everybody, to be fair. That's the beauty of an update that you can toggle of any kind. It adds more to the game, but it's not forced on anybody in any way. OSRS was brought back to us because we all loved the old school version of the game, old school RuneScape. We loved how the game was done in that way. Most of it really was around the evolution of combat, to be fair, but there's a lot of things that had changed, and everyone has their own parts of the game that keeps them playing it. And there's a reason why old school is brought back. The old school look is part of that without a doubt, which has a lot of regular players not very interested in the HD plugin, which again is fine since it's just a plugin. You could just turn it off or not download it in the first place, of course. But I've seen a lot of players that have posted they were not very excited about the plugin in the first place and now are pleasantly surprised with the outcome. I feel like the developer did a great job at not trying to redo everything, like redo the look of everything as far as I can see, but rather adding some depth and some really great lighting to things that really has sharpened the look, or in other words, they stuck to the idea of HD OSRS. It's still old school RuneScape, it's just high definition. I think this is a huge plus for trying to get new players into the game too, which obviously Jagex agrees with because they're going to try to make their own version of the plugin to put into the Steam client. The old school non-HD look will still always have its charm, similar to how like pixel art games or like the 8-bit art style, you might say, always has a pull to new customers still, even though it's an old art style. Any new player that isn't into that now really has like a sick looking version of the game that they can play, a much more HD version, and there's no doubt that an update like this can help with player base in general. It looks sweet. Obviously, I am very happy with the OSRS HD plugin, as I've been just raving about it the whole video. Shout out to 117, the developer on the plugin, once again. You did an amazing job. Shout out to Jagex for seeing the uproar that was caused by their original poor decision to outright ban the plugin. Jagex and Drama tend to make a great duo, so the fact that it all went down doesn't necessarily shock me, but I am glad that they listened to what the community wanted. And shout out to the community too for making it very clear that they wanted this plugin. If it weren't for the general uproar made by the community, then all of 117's time would have been wasted and we wouldn't have this awesome OSRS HD plugin to mess around with. Keep in mind the plugin is still currently in beta, so there could be bugs and whatnot. This is just the first release of it. But from what I see, it works very well, and honestly, it's a huge thumbs up from me. That is going to wrap it up for this video, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. I do stream on Twitch, by the way, which should be linked on the screen and in the description. I am also on Twitter and have a Discord, which are also linked in the description. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and best of luck on your games.